everyone, welcome to episode in the Rails API series. In this episode right here, I'm going to be showing you guys a few tools that might be handy when you're developing APIs. So, traditionally when we build browser-based apps where the server is returning the page, is rendering the page and responding with the HTML content, we can just refresh the browser and we can just see the changes. However, when you start developing APIs, you require a different tool for the job. And so today in this episode right here, I'm going to be showing you 3 tools that is very common out there. I'm going to recommend you guys the best tool that will be, very useful when you're developing APIs. So the first tool we're going to be taking a look at is the paw.cloud. So let me open up the browser here. So I'm going to go to paw.cloud to show you guys. So I highly recommend paw.cloud for several reasons because, well, first of all, the UI looks beautiful. I mean, these guys have done a great job. So you can download a free tool. You can buy it for $49.99. It's a great tool, and for the reasons that, you can actually build APIs. You can have like multiple requests. So basically here, let's say right now we're working with contacts. Let's say we're going to create a new kind of request, so we can rename it to something like sign in. And then basically here we can do something like http or do localhost 3000 and then v1 and then sessions. And then basically here we can make the request, whether it's head, put, post, put, patch, whatever. We can actually make the request from here. So for example, here I can name my request contacts, get contacts. So here, let's say, for example, I make that request. I'm going to get the response. As you can see here, I have 3 contacts in here. I can actually also make post requests and pass in the request headers and all that stuff. And I'm not going to show you guys how to actually use this tool right here in this episode, but know that we're going to be using this tool moving forward. If you don't want to spend that money, you can also use something free like httpie. So httpie is a free tool and it runs in your command line, and it works great. So if you want to use a free tool in your command line, you can go with that. So right here as an example, so I can do http and then localhost. So I can also just use a colon for localhost 3000 v1 contacts -j for JSON request, and there you go, as you can see right there. Now, if you don't want to use the command line and you want to use a free tool, you can also use something like Postman. And right here, as you can see, this is built using the Chrome as one of the Chrome apps. So you can download Postman. Let's see. So Postman is great in almost every respect, and it works almost the same as paw. And it's beautiful. It's really nicely made. It's come a long way. So if you want, you can also use this one. I don't have a problem with that. So pick whichever tool you would like to use. They also have a paid plan. So it's $8 per user per month, or you can just use the free app and it works great, right? So you don't need to spend any money if you don't want to. So my first preference is paw.cloud because it's a beautiful UI, and it's natively on the it runs natively on the Mac. But if you want to use a command line version, you can do that too. But httpie, you won't get things like being able to create multiple requests. You do have this with Postman as well, so we can create multiple requests. So I can go in here. And then create a new request. And then basically, just set up environments and all kinds of stuff. So the feature-wise, Postman is very similar to Paw, but the Paw UI is a little bit more intuitive. And one pet peeve I have with the Postman tool is that when I Alt-tab into Chrome, it confuses itself with Chrome. So like if I go into Chrome, sometimes it comes back to Postman, which I find very annoying. I don't know if the Postman team can fix that. If they can, great. I still highly recommend it regardless. So you can set headers, all kinds of things that you'll need when you're working with building an API. So you can view the history of the post, all kinds of cool stuff you can do in here. So yeah, with that, I am going to wrap it up, and I will see you guys in the next episode.